You are listening to the Special Needs Children podcast with Chitra Iyer. Chitra Iyer is a parent of 22-year-old Shravan Iyer who has epilepsy, cerebral palsy and autism. She is the CEO of MFA and has been helping families with life-centered planning to reach their personal financial goals. She is also a trustee of the parent support group, the Forum for Autism, which was set up almost 2 decades ago. MFA is a 16-year-old organization working in the personal finance space. They have set up a dedicated practice to help families with special needs children to plan their financial goals and invest for the same. The thoughts shared here are as a result of discussions with parents, caregivers, siblings and professionals regarding the planning of a person with special needs. In this expert series podcast, Chitra is talking to Miss Paramita Mazumder. Paramita is a mom to a young loving son with autism and is the founder and principal of Sunshine School and Sheltered Workshop, which is at Vashi in Mumbai. Listen to her in conversation with Chitra Iyer, where she shares her thoughts on future planning for special needs children as they become adults.
Hi, Paramita. A very cheerful and positive individual with a permanent smile on her face and with an amazing sense of purpose. I've been blessed to interact with Paro as part of the core group of Forum for Autism. A big warm welcome to you on this expert series of my podcast for special needs children, Paramita.
Thank you, Chitra. Thank you.
Thank you for your time and agreeing to share your wisdom with all of us. Just to introduce you formally to our listeners, Paramita Mazumder is the founder and principal of Sunshine School, which is at Vashi in Mumbai, and is mother to dear Deep, who is now a strapping, handsome, young 21-year-old who has autism. She is a qualified special educator and a counselor who has been working in the field of autism for the last 16 years. Paramita started Sunshine to help her child and other children having similar yet different abilities. Similarly, she also set up Sunshine Sheltered Workshop to train adults to work on their independent life skills. So coming to you straight, Paramita, can you please share your journey of living with autism with your son Deep? How has it been since he was young till he's now, and what are you doing today? Would love to hear.
Yeah, Chitra, it's a long journey, and I think it started at around 2000 or 2002 when we came to know that he was just 2 years old, that we came to know from the pediatrician who was working with my son, is that something is different in your child. He is not like the others in the who comes to my clinic. And that time we were in Delhi. So, frankly speaking, at that time, that age, I had no idea with the term of autism. And he said, we feel that it is autism. So you need to go and check out with your other pediatrician, developmental pediatrician and neurologist. So like all the parents, it was denial at the first stage, and that denial took us 1 year to come to the conclusion and acceptance that, yeah, our child is having autism. By that time, he was 3. And so my journey started from there when he was just 3, moving from one therapist to another. And that time in Navi Mumbai, there were not much facilities going on. And initially, actually, we were in a transition from Delhi to Calcutta, and from Calcutta to Mumbai. So we were going from one doctor to another. And by the time we came to we came to accept the fact that our son is having autism, it was in Mumbai at that time, and he was by that time 3 years old. So we started all the therapies, going to different therapists in Mumbai and all other places. When by that time he was 2-3 years we did it, and then we came to know that it is very difficult to travel with him in such way, and he was getting tired and all. And when the therapist who were working with me said that, why don't you start a school in Navi Mumbai? And he was going to a regular school where I was as a shadow teacher, but I can see the fact that it was very difficult for him to adjust there. It was very difficult for him to grasp what the teacher was teaching, and for which we were not able to teach him the independent living or activity of daily living, ADL skills and all. So the therapist who were working with me said that why don't you start a school, and that's when I thought of starting Sunshine. And in Navi Mumbai there were some parents similar to my condition who also at that time joined me, and with 6 children we started Sunshine in 2006. So that time I had no knowledge about how to run a school, and just it was like I have to do something for my son, and so I made a effort to start the school.
Really, because I really admire your guts of how you must have just jumped into it completely.
Yeah, we just jumped into it without thinking what will come after 5 years or 6 years. What will I do with this institution? How will I run this institution? Frankly speaking, when I started, I have not thought about all this. And it was my sister who was more, who is the person who motivated me at that time. Because again, something comes like fund. To run a school, you need fund. And also, we were just thinking, I used to sit in the school where my son used to go, and at times very depressed, and used to call her every time and say, see this, it's not working. So there she came out. She said that she was, it's my maternal uncle runs business in Mumbai. So he said, let us fund it and let us start a school. So that way I started without thinking, where will I go? How will I take it ahead? Nothing was there in my mind at that time.
But that's amazing. Means family came immediately to help you out with the financial support, which must have been really big at that time. And over the years also to sustain must have been really tough, right?
Yeah. And after this in 2010, I thought that, see, I'm taking the special educators. I'm seeing how they are working with my son. So I also need to know about it. I need to know what is special education, need to have that knowledge. And that's when in 2010, I did my B.Ed in special education only for running the school. And gradually I started training myself so that I come to know how to carry on with the individual educational program, how to see what are the curriculum which will be best for the students. And this way I grew up with my son.
That's so sweet, Paramita, really. Amazing. Because your journey at that time, when he was so young, you were young, both of you all, and then your daughter came along.
Yeah, frankly speaking, at the same time, my daughter also came in our life. And that was when my B.Ed exams were going on. So it's managing my daughter, managing my son, and this school and family was really a very big challenge for me at that time. But I thank to God that things went very well. I got very much support from my family, and even my team, Sunshine team, some of them are still with me who joined me in 2006. So I got immense support from them.
So coming straight to our topic for today, where, I've been talking to many parents and asking their views. You being someone who is guiding approx 80 families of children who are in Sunshine, as well as many more who are part of the sheltered workshop, right? When you want to talk to them about what you have done for Deep, how do you and your husband, what have y'all planned for Deep in the future? When did you start the planning process for him in terms of making him independent? What is the vision that you have for him, when with y'all and after y'all, if you can share?
Chitra, frankly speaking, if I look back, I feel that whatever we have planned is really, it should have planned much earlier. So first of all, this only I will tell the parents who are young parents coming to my school that the planning should start very early, not to wait until the child is adult or something. So as I said, I grew up with Deep. When Deep was small, we started the early intervention group. When Deep gradually reached the middle, was going towards adolescence, we started this middle school and then this vocational center. Similarly, my thought for his, we wanted to make him independent. The sheltered workshop was mainly started to make him independent in life with learning all his daily living skills, and even something where it was always in my mind that after he reaches 18, I can't leave him at home just doing nothing. And so that was what came in my mind when we started the sheltered workshop, to teach him something, some skills by which, not much, but he can keep himself occupied, he can earn something, and also he can learn how to live independently when we are not there. Not only this, simultaneously with this, we need to think about his financial independence. We need to think about where we will keep him in future. What will be the future plan for him? All this we started thinking when he was 18 years old. But frankly speaking, I will say the parents should start much earlier thinking about all this.
True. So how would you say you have discussed beyond your husband and of course your daughter? Are other people, who all have you been discussing? Who is involved in your, within the family or amongst friends or your team in these decisions? Have you had a lot of discussions regarding this?
Chitra, actually, since long we were talking about the future of Deep and how we will keep him, what we will do. And we shared with the very close members of our family, like my sisters, my husband's sister and brothers, and all this we have shared. But frankly speaking, we were going on in a very slow pace, like making the UDID card, doing the guardianship and all. But real financial thing we came to realize after the COVID thing. During COVID, I have seen so many families around me, the uncertainty in their life and all. So from there we started to plan about it. And with my daughter, I feel that my daughter is much matured than her age. So she's just 14, but we started talking to her about the future of Deep, where to keep Deep, how to make the finance and everything arranged for him. And at the same time, we started to think about making the trust. And when this trust thing came in our mind, we don't have many young people in our family at this very moment who can come, I mean above 18, who can be a member of the trust. So there are a few of them very close, my sister's son and daughter, and my husband's sister. So we started talking to them. We started telling them that what is a trust, how we want to go for it, why we need it, what is the financial thing which is very much necessary for my son, and how we want to make it. So that's the main people who are very close to us. And yes, my daughter, I have said, but at the same time, my daughter always says that you don't worry, I'll take care of your Deep. You don't have to think about it. But then she's very young. She still doesn't know when she'll grow up. We really don't know where she will stay. She will get married to someone, another family will come. Absolutely. So it's very much necessary that we make, we don't make Deep dependent on her. It will be making her overloaded with responsibilities.
Absolutely.
But if she herself wants to take care, that's a separate story.
Yeah. See, as parents, especially where there is a sibling, the whole process of discussion with the sibling, as you said, she's very young. Very, very soon she will understand what are going to be the challenges for her. Her life, this whole thing of about India, where when people ask me, अच्छा आपका एक ही बच्चा है, तो फिर आपने दूसरा क्यों नहीं किया? वो तो संभाल लेगा ना. So it's like a given that you're supposed to have a second child to look after your special needs child, which is so downright, stupid and wrong. It's like, is our second child supposed to be the one to bear this entire thing? As parents, we hold the entire responsibility of figuring out what all needs to be done to put a structure in place, to put the plan in place, so that if something were to happen to us tomorrow, forget in the distant future. Because again, another issue of everybody saying that will banana hai itne jaldi thodi, we're not going to die that early. There's still a lot of time left. आप इतना जल्दी क्यों बोल रहे हो will बनाने को? People shy away, from making their wills because they think they'll die tomorrow. But I keep on requesting parents to think that what if tomorrow you're not there? What will you do? How on earth?
I want to share something with you, Chitra. Recently,
Please.
Very recently, a family in our sunshine. Suddenly, the family lost the only earning member in the family. The child study in my sheltered workshop. She is 18 years old and has a brother who is just 14 years old. And the father was the only earning member. And suddenly, he had a brain hemorrhage. And day before yesterday, he expired. And yesterday when I met the family, the mother was more worried about how she will lead life, how she will give education, how she will bring food in the house from tomorrow. The mother was more worried about that than to grieve for the husband.
It's really so sad, no, Paramita? This is exactly what, even through COVID, these instances have been happening. Really, my heart goes out to that mother because, now she has to do everything. If they hadn't spoken about this, imagine, she has to think through. As you rightly said, she first will wonder how will I feed my children, and then how I'm going to look after them for as long as I'm alive, and then once I'm gone, who's going to look after them? And suddenly life situation changes so much where we've seen these instances where the mother is just left to the mercy of the rest of the family members. She might have to completely uproot herself. That causes so much of change for the adult. It's not easy at all. And
mainly I was much worried of the sibling, of the brother, that the responsibility is now on him.
Completely going to fall on him.
Yeah. So this
coming,
is what you were talking to me, what I have, whether I have spoken to my daughter or not. So coming to this incident, coming back home, I said the entire story to my daughter and explained to her, so that she realizes the situation. It's nothing to hide from her. If I make this type of incident, if I tell her, then she will know the practical situation.
Absolutely right, Paramita. Absolutely right. I totally agree. It's not something that we should shy away from or feel embarrassed to talk about or wonder what our child will feel. They are in fact very, very mature. In fact, the first statement you passed about your daughter was that she's extremely understanding and she knows exactly what to do. And she's so confident about handling deep in the future. It's very essential that parents sit down and do this discussion with the immediate people who are direct caregivers for our children. One question that I want to
interrupt you. Even Chitra, I made my daughter during the pandemic prepare that if such unforeseen situation comes, where you need to go first, whom you need to, regarding finance, you need to talk to this person, and
Right.
regarding the other things, you need to go to this person. And sometimes I know some of my very close friends tell me that why you overload her with all this type of discussion. But then she is prepared. Tomorrow, if anything happens, she is mentally prepared.
Fantastic.
It doesn't matter age.
Perfect, Paramita. Absolutely right. This is the best thing that you're doing, and I truly hope that everyone who's listening to you also adopts the same approach. The next question coming to you is, so do you think that you have one person at home who understands everything about money other than you and your husband, first? And second is, have you resorted to taking the help of a proper financial planner to help you in terms of planning monies? Also, legally, have you gone ahead to make your wills and your trust for Deep?
Yeah, Chitra, first of all, I am very thankful to God that there are very good people around me, my sisters and all, they're very close to me. And there are means, I know whom they can approach in our absence. And my sister is very much aware about it, and I have spoken to her too regarding this. Even we have separately spoken to our niece and nephews before we thinking about regarding, you are saying financial planning. Yes, we have done financial planning for my son, and we have not consulted any financial planner because some of my relatives are also in this same, they only helped us to do this planning, and my husband thank God that he very much goes into it, finds out and what are the things possible to do. So in that way he did it. But at the same time, I will say surely, sir, if the family is not very confident about how to go for the financial planning, they should consult a financial planner. And we have thought about trust, and for that reason we have spoken, we have made the lawyer, we have spoken to her what are the things we need to do at this very moment, and which are the steps we need to take. First we need to make the trust, we need to make the will, and whom we need to include in the trust. All that we have spoken to the lawyer, and after that we have also spoken to my sister's son and daughter, so that to come to know whether they are willing to be a part of the trust, and what are the duties they need to do in future if in our absence. As my daughter is, I can't include her still in the trust because she is just 14, but someone has to be in her as a guardian, and then later on she can be a part of the trust. So in all this way, we have very well discussed about it, and we are in the process in making all this. We haven't yet made, as I said, I told you that I feel we are late. Much earlier we should have started all this, but anyway the COVID had taught us a big lesson, so we have started the taking all the steps, and we are at present working on making the trust, and the wheel will come next.
That's fantastic, superb. That's great that
Chitra, I remember you coming to my school and giving a talk to the parents here, which we always give one statement during your talk. I still remember saying that, see, I am frankly speaking very bad in finance. So, but then that word of yours was very much stuck in me, that don't think today if my son is spending, I'm spending 30,000 on my son. We have to plan accordingly that after 7 years, 10 years, 20 years, how much value that 30,000 will be at that time. And accordingly, we have to make the financial planning. That sentence of yours was very much in me when I attended your workshop in our school.
Superb. Because Paramita, I was going there only, that you running a school since so many years, you have seen how costs have escalated, right? Inflation hits us, and before we know, all these costs go to a completely different level. And so from you, I wanted to hear that, when parents think that ho jayega, कोई फ्यूचर में कोई देख लेगा, and I will have enough money in the future. To all of those people, I would just like you to share that cost of even schooling or therapy. How has it escalated, Paramita? What have you seen happening, in this entire career of yours?
It has escalated a lot, and after pandemic, it has become more or less double the expenses. And see, I started my son's therapy with 200 rupees per therapy, 300 rupees. Now it's 1,000, 100 and 1,500 like this per 45-minute session cost. It's even my school fees I had to increase, because I used to take the special educators in a very minimum salary. Nowadays the salary has hiked so much that salary doesn't work with my special educators. So if I need to take a good special educator, good team, so I have to pay that much. So everything means it has become double, triple, I think so. The amount with which I was maintaining the school at the beginning and now is totally much different, very much different. And still we are struggling.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I know that you're helping a lot of children also. So, the whole burden on you must be like at another level altogether. So, I would like to come to the last winding up question with you is that, again, what would you tell our, your listeners today? Coming from personal experience, you've already shared that, you feel that you are late and you would like others to start earlier. So, pointed question, when exactly do you think they should start?
See, what happens, Chitra, when the children are very small and the diagnosis happens, they have lots of hope. Hope is very good. We should have hope. But at the same time, what happens, the parents don't see the future of the child. They don't think of what will happen. They are so much worried about the schooling, the academic, and all that. They don't think that part. So, for a regular child, for my daughter also, I started investing for her studies in future. See, tomorrow if she wants to go abroad, if she wants to do some other things, she will need that money. So similarly, I think the parents should start at the very early age with the therapies, when they start the therapies for the child's improvement and to see the child in a better way. From that time only, I think they should simultaneously plan for the finance, because that's a very early stage when the parents are also very young. They can think about earning more, and after a time you come out of the acceptance with the diagnosis, I think both the things should go simultaneously.
No, I completely agree with you. And today, imagine we are actually thinking about what is going to happen in terms of the residential, as a plan for the future. And that's a different challenge altogether, where we don't have anything ready. And, the game just is starting there, where we have to figure how much and what will be the cost. Of course, one is about just a place, but beyond that, caregiving is going to be so expensive, right?
It will be, because even small things like shadow teachers and all in the school has the amount has doubled for them. So tomorrow this caregiving and all this for an adult will also cost much higher. So the parents need to think about it, whether the child is high functioning or low functioning, or the child will be able to establish their own future by doing something, some job or not. Irrespective of everything, they should think about the finance for the future.
That was fantastic, how you covered everything in terms of various kind of problems, where here we're talking about autism. There are also so many other special needs with challenges where either, you have a wheelchair adult or you have, somebody who is blind. There are so many things that parents need to consider and plan. The only thing like we're coming back to is talk to your spouse, talk to your child, talk to your own special needs child if they can comprehend what you're planning in terms of future, where they will live, what they will do. Get going there and involve everyone who are around you, because this is going to take everyone who is in your child's life to help you also in taking this decision. So thank you so much for sharing your journey,
Chitra,
and
I also want to thank you the way you are guiding the families with giving them the financial advice and all. Really, this is helping so many families who doesn't know where to go, how to go ahead. So you are doing a fantastic job also.
thank you so much, Paramita. Thanks a ton for the encouragement. Yeah, it's all of us in the journey together, and just like you have a brilliant team, so am I blessed with one, and we have so many people rallying around us to support us. So I really hope that everyone who knows you and everyone who doesn't know you, who have listened to your journey today, would like to, adopt at least some of the things that you have shared as must-dos. And thank you for sharing your entire life experience in such a short time. And I hope that many, many people will listen to you and understand your efforts that have gone in setting up such a fantastic school and sheltered workshop all alone when there was nothing much there in Vashi. And Sunshine is a place that everyone is aware of and really are amazed at what a brilliant effort you're doing with your team. Thank you, and I genuinely appreciate you for sharing so much with all of us.
Thank you, Chitra. Thank you.
You were listening to the Special Needs Children podcast with Chitra Iyer, the CEO of MFA and a trustee with the Forum for Autism. If you find this podcast relevant and interesting, it'll be great if you leave a review, share, like and subscribe. You can also let us know if there is any specific topic that you would like us to cover. Feel free to email her on chitra.iyer@myfinad.com, or you can call her on 98337 85892.